So the first thing I remember in this lucid dream, I was in the backyard of the house that I grew up in, and it was daytime. It's very awesome. You really appreciate that when you've had so many just really dark lucid dreams. But the trees were really tall, even taller than they were in the real version of my old backyard. And there were vines hanging down, and so I started to climb them. And as I'm climbing them, I'm just looking at the vines, looking at the sky, and just really um, just savoring it. You know, you spend all day doing reality checks and meditating. Well, not all day meditating, right? But I meditate twice a day. So just like to appreciate it when my work pays off. Anyways, but as I'm climbing, as I get up pretty high on the tree, the dream starts to get like really wavy. I'm pretty sure I'm sleeping on my side at this point. Um, and so I decide to climb down just to stabilize the dream. And as I'm climbing down, the dream changes. Actually, this is a pretty long one, so I'm gonna probably pause the recording a few times so that I can look at my notes. Or I might just cut out the pauses. Oh yeah, and as I was climbing that tree, I was like making a mental note to myself. I gotta remember this when I wake up. Probably because in my last lucid dream log, as I mentioned, on that night, I felt like there were so many parts of that lucid dream which I didn't remember whatsoever. Which still not sure if that was a if there were real parts that I didn't remember, or if I just thought it was longer at the time than it really was. So, anyways, as I'm climbing back to the ground, the dream changes, and so I lose lucidity, and now I'm at my dad's old house, um, which I also spent a lot of time in as a kid. And yeah, that dream goes on, and later on in that dream, I remember that I had just been lucid, and I realized that I'm still in a dream. So I'm like, great. And so I'm walking down the hallway in that old house, and I walk through a door, and the dream changes, and it's now like I'm opening a door into my old elementary school. So this is just a blast from the past, I guess. But I'm walking down the hall, and I look at my hands. Big mistake, because um, I don't know. Whenever you look at your hands in a dream, they just look really weird, and the sight of that kind of, well, in my case, it freaked me out, and the dream started becoming less stable. Um, they didn't look like lizard hands or anything really weird like that. It was just like when I was moving them, the movement seemed really weird. So yeah, I'm walking down the hall, and my knees start to try to close on me. This is a really weird thing that is really hard to explain if you've never experienced it, but this has happened to me a few times at least since, in my dreams. I'm walking, and my knees just want to close, and so I'm trying to fight it, and I'm trying to stand back up straight, but I don't know. I guess I've just explained it as well as I possibly can. But yeah, so I'm fighting it as I walk down the hall. I'm trying to walk straight up, stand straight up, but it gets worse and worse, and eventually I'm pretty much just crawling on the ground now. So I lose lucidity again, and now it's in the third person. So I'm watching this dude just crawling on the ground, and the principal comes, and he like starts making fun of this guy. Man, what does he say? I don't remember what he says, but he just like roasts him for being a crawling guy, I guess. Um, and then the dream changes again. Uh, I didn't do wake back to bed for this. I didn't have blueberries the night before. I wasn't planning on having this lucid dream. So just the fact that I was lucid at all is pretty much a win for me. And I'm not sleeping on my back either, so it makes sense that there's hardly any control going on. So, dream changes, and now I'm in, or at least the next thing I remember, I'm in the back of a car and I've been arrested, and there's two other uh, legally challenged individuals there in the back with me, and but I'm lucid now. Um, and again, didn't remember exactly how I became lucid. But so I tried to open the window of the car with my flicking hand motion command, like I do, uh, but it doesn't work. So I tried a few times, and then the other arrestees start telling me, no, 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 you got to flick it this way because it opens this way, or you got to flick it down, or you got to flick it, they all had their own suggestions, and none of them, I tried them all, none of them worked. So eventually I tried to just kind of like push, not actually push, but like a force push from a distance, right? The window out, just like directly out of the car, just straight out, just make it pop out of the car. And it doesn't actually work, but then I look away at some point, and then the other dudes are like, it worked, it worked. Um, and I looked, and it did work. So I climb out, um, and that was pretty crazy, just being like halfway out of a moving car. I'm sure it would have been crazier in real life. But as I'm there trying to squeeze out this window, um, the car crashes, or maybe it just like not crashes, but it makes a sharp turn and just like falls over. You know what I'm talking about? And and I guess all of me and the other criminals just spilled out of the car because now we're all outside of the car, and the police dudes come to rearrest us, and I decided not to fly away because I wanted to make this dream as stable as possible and last as long as possible, which I'm glad that occurred to me. Because, I mean, this obviously wasn't a super controlled dream, so that's a good thing. I didn't remember to keep doing reality checks throughout the thing, though, but probably or hopefully on a lucid dream, which I have more control of, and which I've done wake back to bed and everything. Let me check if I've missed anything in my notes. So yeah, we're outside of the police car now, and the police are running over to, catch us again. And the setting kind of looks like Arizona. I think it's Arizona that I'm thinking about. I'm sure it applies to other states as well, but it's kind of deserty and orange dirt and plateaus. And yeah, first they go arrest the other two guys, and then someone comes over to arrest me, and I decide not to fight it because I don't want to start, getting too worked up and lose the dream. So yeah, and it doesn't matter if they arrest me because it's a dream. So yeah, they come to arrest me, and he kind of does that thing where he like pushes me down to the ground, which kind of rude. Um, and as I'm on the ground and he's putting the handcuffs on me, the guy from I think it's the guy from Prison Break. I know he looked familiar, but yeah, it's the main guy from Prison Break. Actually, he has hair like mine, so maybe that's why he showed up in my dream. Um, he comes over and he offers his hand, and so I take his hand and he pulls me up, and we start walking away. And it's like the police officer doesn't even notice this happening right under his nose. Um, so we start walking away, and we start walking up the cliff. So this area was kind of like in a crater-like area surrounded by cliffs. So we walk up out of that, and then we start flying up into the sky. And yeah, I didn't mean to fly. I don't know if this guy meant to make me fly, but he doesn't have his own consciousness, I think. Can't be sure, obviously. But yeah, so we're flying, and I'm not a fan of that because I'm trying to keep the dream stable and make it last long. So I try to undo that. I try to make it so we're back on the ground. And I do that by just visualizing as if what it would look like if I was still back on the ground. But that doesn't work. And that's the end. That's the last thing I remember. And then later on in the night, I woke up from a REM cycle and I was like, wait a second, I was lucid. Um, so I get up to write it all down. And again, when I woke up, it was kind of a struggle to remember everything. Like I had to, I don't know, really reach in and grab those memories before they disappeared completely. So yeah, I really do got to work on my dream recall. Just so that's not a concern. So it's not a concern of whether I'm gonna forget everything or not. I don't even want to forget some stuff, right? So yeah. Um, some final notes. One thing I really want to do is get into the habit of doing a reality check as soon as I wake up. Because that's really gonna help not prevent false awakenings, but just automatically turn them into lucid dreams because it's just gonna be a force of habit that I check if it's a dream or not. So I want to do that. I still haven't managed to do it. I've been saying to myself to do this for like the past few days, but it keeps like I don't remember it until like 10 minutes or 20 minutes after I wake up. So, but I'm sure the more I keep saying that to myself and keep reminding myself of that, I'm sure I'll remember eventually. And then I can just make it a habit from there. Also, thanks for subscribing, by the way. We're over 200 subscribers, which is a lot for me. I started from zero, so that's a lot in comparison to that. I know I don't have the most welcoming personality, but I would like to actively welcome you to leave a comment if you want. If you have a question, just a literal comment. And yeah, I'll get back to you. Also, at the time of me recording this, it's the last day of my semester. I'm about to take my last exam that I have to take. And then after that, it's winter break. So I have some ideas for more videos that I want to make. So you're probably not going to see this video until a little over a week from now. So I might have already made a couple of those, but felt like mentioning it anyways. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.